Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Divine Cuppa. We are on session number 10, so welcome back. Today we have the wonderful Susie and Denise. I'll just do a quick introduction, just for those who don't know me. My name's Vanessa, and I'm a lifestyle coach helping women to help yourself to feel more confident. And yeah, this is a wonderful journey. Started with just a spark of an idea that I had in, I think it was about December of last year. And we've gone on to just do some wonderful things with the workshop series and this Divine Cuppa. So welcome here and welcome to our wonderful Divine sovereign sisters. So I'm going to start with Susie. I'm sure she's not going to be happy with that because I know she's not feeling her brightest today, but she is Susie Sunshine. So come on, Susie, give us a welcome, please.
Good. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to this Sunday vibe. I'm putting my vibe out there, nice and positive, smiley face. Really, we get to do that, don't we? So, okay, my name's Susie Wellstead. I'm an emotional wellbeing coach, as well as author of You Are Enough. I'm truly passionate about people and emotions. So that is me.
Thank you, Susie. Great to have you here. And Denise, hi.
Hi, I'm Denise Mustard, the emotional fitness coach, and I love everything to do with emotions. That is it's my I do enjoy talking about it, but sometimes I'm like, I like listening to other people's point of view on it because there's so much wisdom that comes through talking like this that I really enjoy these conversations. So hello.
Fantastic. Okay, so I have little Zenta with me who is getting rather emotional because he cannot get to his shoe cupboard. He likes to pull out shoes. This is the age that he's at, and that's keeping him entertained. But yeah, so what we've been doing every week on the series is going back through the slides from our first workshop, and that was called Healing the Chaos and Confusion, which we did a beautiful mix of looking at the situation which we're all still living through and how that's impacted. I did some slides on the history that's led us to the point that we're in, but also Denise and Susie picked up on that emotional side, so gave us really a sense of how we can stay grounded during these times. So where we are today is working through the second slide that Denise presented, which was called Your Soul Blueprint. And again, as I've always said on the Divine Cuppa, the purpose isn't for us to regurgitate the workshop. We have got that workshop available for you to watch on YouTube if you haven't watched it yet. But it's for us to give you a different spin on the slides that were presented. So I'm going to start with Denise and just see how now we can add more value to the conversation that you left us with in that workshop, please.
Hey, so yeah, I guess the purpose of talking about what your soul blueprint is the workshop was obviously about healing the chaos and confusion. And one of the things that to come of this whole time is to really go within and find your purpose, what your mission is. And that for me was very much what I experienced. And I know from like seeing other people in my little world, that is what I've been seeing. And now coaches are talking about really communicating to people who are searching for their purpose, what they're, and all this sort of thing. So the concept of the blueprint is what you are here in terms of like personality, and your soul is being expressed in some way, shape or form through your human experience. But we make choices that are sometimes positive for us and sometimes negative. And it's really choosing the positive ones, because something that might be positive for me might not be positive for you. And so when we go in that direction, then we can navigate through creating something that we want. rather than creating something that somebody else wants, or what you think other people want, or what you think you want. So when you really understand yourself, then you understand what you're trying to create. And for me, when I found out what my soul blueprint was, and this is just basically the expression of the energy that's coming through there's 8 energies that come through the energy centers, and more of one that you receive, the primary one, is what you are here to express. And so mine is power. And so I've really been trying to focus, and I mean, had been focusing on power a lot, like through my sessions and stuff, and like without even knowing before I knew that my divine soul blueprint was divine power. Maybe over a year ago, I changed my, instead of calling myself an emotional acceptance coach, I changed it to purpose and power, because that was what I did. I really helped people connect to that. And then over the year, just going through my intuition. But yeah, so that for me, it's made a massive difference following that path, even more so now than ever before. I should do the Akashic records on you as well, you guys. Find out what yours is. I think yours is communication, but
I was just about to ask, I mean, you spoke about the blueprint in the session, but how do people find that out, please?
Yeah, so I've been studying the Akashic records, and that is the record of all of your existence, basically. So the past, the present, the future, your health, karmic things, all of that energetically is stored in the Akashic records. The Bible referred to the Book of Life, or it's also often referred to as the records. It is a well-known place in the 5th dimension, and you get tuned into it through like Reiki. You get an attunement to connect to that vibration. And you go into your records by using your name, your date of birth, and where you were born. And everyone has their own individual vibration. And when you go in that, you can ask questions and get answers, basically, to things that you might want to find out about yourself.
Fantastic. Susie, what have you done in terms of searching for your soul blueprint? I'm actually scrolling down because I'm going to reference something that I've discovered just this week, which I suppose is aligned to this soul blueprint, but I want to hear what you've been doing, Susie. Have you got any research that's kind of given you information of your soul legacy?
Thanks, Vanessa. Touching on what Denise says, I mean, I've only become more and more aware of it since working with Denise, and I like that. I mean, we know, even as listeners, I hope everybody knows that everything is energy, because we sometimes don't even realize that everything is energy. And then when I started tapping into my emotions, I started to really realize, especially in the past year, with all this chaos and confusion and whatever's going off, we kind of indulge in the emotions so much longer than what we need to. It's something, it becomes a kind of habit. It's like you're comforting your emotions, especially the darker emotions that we can sit and let go of. So I think it's really important that everything is energy, and we have to become more and more aware of our moods and how we react to things, and how I've always said it, since I do more and more emotional work, is realizing that it takes 90 seconds for the emotion to leave your body, yet we still hold on to situations, people, And sometimes your heart knows everything that you're saying, or if somebody says something, it resonates with you, but we still dismiss it, we still deny it because of conditioning, because of experience. So I guess for me, it's still ongoing progress, ongoing learning. And I always remember when I released my book, my coach then had said to me, remember, when you're in the here and now, that is your soul. You're working as your soul in the here and now, especially if you're present, if you're consciously aware. Something about the past being your emotional body or something, or pain body. I'm not really 100% clear on it, but I guess for me is I'm at that place where I know in my heart it's all about getting people to trust and believe in themselves. And I guess that's the biggest battle I've had with myself. And that is what I'm here to express to the world too. I hope that makes sense. I feel that I went off a bit and came back in again, but
No, it was fantastic. Thank you. So I just wanted to elaborate on a few things that you said there, going back to vibration and energy, that yes, we have to recognize that, you know, we are all energy in the vibration. It's only because we cannot see ourselves vibrating. Some of us are vibrating on a low frequency, some are vibrating on a high frequency. And the time that we're in, it's all about trying to raise your vibration. And you can do that in so many different ways. And maybe we'll have a specific conversation about raising your vibration, because of course, that is what the collective is called. Vibrate Higher has been chosen for a reason. So what I wanted to share about the Soul Blueprint was a website that I was introduced to only this week, and it's not coming up properly on my phone, which is annoying, but it's called 13moon.com galactic signature. So I'll put that at the bottom of the comments on the YouTube page, but it's not coming up, so I can't read out the paragraph. And where are my notes? And I probably haven't got them in front of me, but basically it's told me about which galactic tribe I've come from. And it's just amazing because in the Telegram, so we use Telegram as part of our conversations with our community, and you can put a bio in Telegram, and I'd noticed other people have put a bio and I'd never put one. But anyway, I've got a bio now, and it is yellow. Is it yellow sun? Yellow galactic sun or something like that, which is talking about basically this tribe that I'm supposed to be coming from. And on this call that I was on, I've been connecting with a lot of light workers, which is an international community. And it was so amazing because we were talking about the different colors. So I came into the call when they were going, yeah, I'm from the red tribe, I'm from the blue tribe, yellow tribe. I was like, what on earth are they going on about? So I said, oh, excuse me, I'm kind of late to the conversation. What are you talking about? And all it is, it's a simple decoder. You put your date of birth in there and it will tell you. And I'm so annoyed that I don't have the book in front of me, because I did it for my offspring and for Mark as well. So I'm going to have if you see me moving around, it's because I'm desperately trying to find this book, just to give you a bit of headline of what came up. But I know I'm yellow sun and my daughter's yellow sun, and other light workers were talking about, oh, you know, I'm this color and my daughter's that color. And then the man that was introducing this to us, he said, well, of course, because they're from you. So my boys, I've got my oldest boy, he's come from the blue moon tribe or whatever it is.
I don't understand, because that's not the stars. So are they from star? Is that star systems, or because the star systems is different?
You'll have to go onto the website. Like I said, it's not coming up clearly for me on my phone, so it's hard for me to describe and do the call at the same time. But yeah, if you go onto the internet, I will put the link into our Telegram group, and I'll also paste it at the bottom.
Tell me what it is. I'll look at it now, see if I can find it so I can tell you if it matches up with what I already know about myself.
Yeah, so it's 13moon.com.
Is it 13 written as 1-3 or actually the word?
Yeah, as the number. .com/galactic. Oh, wait a minute. Galactic-signature.
Okay, yeah.
So that's where we were. But it was interesting. And we also looked at our numbers. I can't remember what the number's called, but anyway, mine's number 1. And of course now, well, this is how the angels were communicating to me anyway. I always see numbers. And of course, today I've had like ones coming up very significantly. I'm like, oh, okay, then. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, really interesting.
Right, I'm going to tell you what mine is. I found the website. Decode date. I don't understand what this is.
I don't think you're going to have time to do it because you've got to put your date of birth in.
I've done it already. The 20 tribes of galactic time.
That's it.
Interesting stuff. Amazing.
It really is. Really
yellow. So I'm yellow crystal human.
Okay.
Your galactic affirmation is: I dedicate in order to influence, universalizing wisdom. I seal the process of free will with crystal tone of cooperation. I'm guided by the power of flowering. Your galactic affirmation is a vibrational code that is meant to be felt rather than understood with your rational mind. If you simply remain curious and receptive to it, its magic will find you. Well, this is exciting.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, when you're on a call, an international call with, I think there might have been about, the numbers were going down, but there's probably about 20 odd of us when I joined the call. It's really interesting. But yeah, so that's just some things that you can do. Obviously, Akashic Records. There's this number, I can't remember what it's called, but if you go onto the numerology website or any of those websites, you can find out what is that number called. I'm sure you women know what it is.
What is it? Your life path?
That's it. Your life path number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my life path number is number 1.
Minus.
So that was interesting as well. But,
you know what? Actually, so this, what is coming up for me is more resonant with my blueprint. It's not so much where I'm from, but it, like what it's saying is about free will, wisdom, the way shore, all that sort of stuff resonates in the sense of, yeah, what my divine blueprint is. But I'll look at the other stuff as well. Yeah, the number is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. So just moving on then. So what about talking about energy centers? This was something that's come up for me today. Is before we've put the recording on, obviously I said I was up until late, basically doing a deep clean of my working space. You know, I spend most of my time at the table. If I'm not cooking, cleaning, ironing, basically sleeping, or doing things upstairs, I don't sit in my living room. That's the point that I'm making. So I'm sat here on the computer and my actual space needed cleaning. And I was aware because like I'm getting more, I've always been in tune with my angelic realm, but then sometimes I don't tune in properly. And I was just aware that in terms of energy, whatever downloads I'm going to be receiving, if my space isn't clean, then I'm going to actually put a block around that. And what happened is I dropped something underneath the table. It was one of Zenta's toys. I'll just hold it here because it's back in the tub. It's like this sand that was given to him for his birthday. Yeah. And I dropped it down there, and then the pens had dropped on the floor. You know, it was like a mess underneath where I was. And it was just like last night, I was on the call with the light workers and we were talking about some high level stuff, which not that I'm trying to hide it from you, but I don't know if our audience is ready for it. So we'll definitely have to have another show on that. But and I was just so aware, my space is not clean. My space is not clean. So I started cleaning, and it's wonderful. So today, when I've done my devotion, I've had my sage. I've got, well, where was it? I had a candle burning, and that energy is really important, because energy is all around us, as well as we are part of that energy center. So anything you wanted to add to that?
I mean, I do know that for me, like in this room, when I started being aware of the space I was in, as my emotions started to clear, I had the headspace to then really tackle the house. And I know, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, like this room ends up becoming a dumping room, and there's no curtains, so it started to look like the garage where I'd like had all the baby stuff. I was like, oh, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it because it was the closest thing to the door place. But it didn't. And it was just like, oh, don't go in there. It's a mess. So like the next thing was, instead of tidying it up, not like the room around was fine. It was just like a pile of stuff that was just getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, nah, I've got to do it. Like once I had clarity of mind, I moved all that stuff from here into the garage, obviously. And then I just started decorating. And it was something that someone said when I was doing a session. I had in this room, these bull horns that had come from my husband's dad's butchers. And he was like, if you're working in here, like, that's not cool. There's bad juju for like death and stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't even think about it. I like the sort of the antler look, or the horns and stuff. And so I started looking, going, oh God, if anyone saw this, like this isn't, and I just started seeing it in a completely different light, because I don't actually think that the furniture in here is bad or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to start decorating. And I think I started next door. And we had like I had a coffee earlier. It's like a kind of magnolia yellowy color all over the house, and it was, yeah, it wasn't nice. And I was like, I'm going to paint. And I think I'd started from the conservatory, and then I got a bit bored. But then I got my spark back, and my mum helped me as well. And because the ceiling, like all the paper was all droopy, and I was like, that's actually starting to bother me now. Things weren't bothering me, started to bother me. So then, like within like a couple of days, we just ripped down the papering. There was the alcove kind of coving thing, ripped them off, and then painted all the walls. And it was just so nice to have a nice space. And then obviously I painted in here, and then I came up with just doing the fireplace like that. Because it was one of those gold style, and I didn't like it, and I painted that. And what was there, I didn't even like the fireplace, but what actually is there, when you look at it to change things, you don't necessarily have to get anything new, but just tidying up what is there. I mean, that's all marble. I didn't even realize, I didn't even look at it from that eyes. I was just seeing a gas fire, and I was like, oh. But then, just started to create, be more creative. I'm like, oh, what could I do? What could I do? And and I love that process. But I feel like I was able to then create a space where a lot of my work happens in this room. I mean, it's not always tidy, let's be honest, but it's it's tidy enough to, I guess it's about honoring your workspace, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic. Susie, do you have anything to add to that? Because I want to share something that came up as a download. But I want to hear from you, Susie, about this, please.
Okay, I'm aware that I did suffer a lot of trauma in my younger years. And I remember somebody saying to me that you probably like things clean and tidy, because once you let all this clutter and mess, it can really mess your mind up, where you're thinking your thoughts, and and I always remember that. And even like today, coming on the call, and I'm in a different room today, but it's a nice room, it's my bedroom. But the first thing I did was put on the light, reminding me that everything there's light in everything if we choose to look at it that way. And I also like looking out the window and just proper nature, the sky. It really does something, doesn't it? It really makes you feel, you know, I think these little small things that we notice mean so much more than anything else. You know, it's all right having XXX, but I know that I've in the past, and even still now, have to watch myself. Pen, paper, love it. And I'd have scattered pieces of paper everywhere, make a note here, do a note there. And I have to be really mindful of putting it in a book or typing up things rather than having it all over the place, because it does actually scatter your mind. It does start, and then you, again, chaos, confusion, you know. Yeah, so that's
Well, that's brilliant, and this is why I love the Divine Cuppa, because this conversation is never pre-rehearsed, by the way, viewer. So this is just coming from where we, you know, our truth and our soul. And there's two things that I want to share. One is about clutter. Part of the coaching group that I've got going, a lot of the women were talking about wanting to declutter their house, and they inspired me. And I was like, yeah, I'm on it as well. And I have started, but the baby's clothes that have been sorted out, and as you know, women, I like to keep up with the ironing, so I'm always putting smaller clothes into this pile. Well, the bags are still here. So I think after this call, I'm going to make an effort to actually, what am I doing? It's because I want to give them to a charity. But in my mind, I was thinking, I don't want to just give them in the bags. I want to get them in a box. And it was like going off on a tangent. So maybe I just need to take them round to the woman whose whose father runs the charity and say, here's the bag. So I'm going to sort that out. The other thing that came to me is this week, we were blessed to have help in the garden with my uncle. So he's built a lovely fence, and with the wood that's left over, he said, oh, I'm going to make you a planter. And I was like, oh, okay then. And I thought it'd just be quite a square planter. Anyway, he popped round last night and he was like, where are you going to put the planter? Because he described the size of it and it's going to be quite large. And I said, that's interesting, because where I sit, the back door is here. And I haven't got my curtains up either, Denise. They're upstairs. I haven't ironed them, so that's why they're not up. In fact, I brought a new curtain pole and I haven't put the curtains up. But anyway, I've sat here and I thought, oh, it'd be lovely to see flowers from my view. So I said to him, oh, well, put it there for me because I want to see flowers. So that will be coming into my creation. But also today I got a download about having my altar. So I was always thinking about having an altar outside. And I'm like, perfect. I'm going to ask my uncle if he could like make something out of wood, which will be an altar for me outside, so I can put some crystals out there and whatever. So yeah, it was really like a nice feeling, thinking, wow, you know, in a matter of weeks, I'm going to look there, and the energy that will be coming from, remember, plants and flowers and the crystals, the energy that will be coming from there, it would just be amazing.
So nice. So we started doing, as part of the School of Change, is a property realignment, and which is the Akashic records in the house. And we did one of my friends, and her house had 4 soul beings in it, which is essentially another family. And she always said her house felt really busy and just like chaotic. It was always like just chaos. And there was 3 negative thought forms and a gateway. And so a gateway is basically anything that can come in and out, like through the universe. And so it's like literally living next door to a highway motorway, with the door open. So it's just, you know how what busy highways like, just standing next to that. So once we cleared it, the difference she felt was massive, just a lot calmer and stuff. So I had done it in our house, and we didn't have any sort of soul entities, but there was a gateway, which I believed it to be outside, not actually in the house. I don't know why. And also it was a burial ground and a battlefield. So if you have these sort of energies, quite a lot of people will feel them. well, first of all, when you're buying a house, the house is actually in alignment with how you are feeling. So vibrationally, they have the same quality. But you will also feel other people's energy from the past. And obviously, we live in a multi-dimensional reality. So everything happens so fast, you can't see it, but there's sometimes crossover and you might experience it. And I've heard people talking about how they've experienced themselves, or their family members have seen them or heard them or whatever, and they weren't even in that room. And this, I mean, we've had that quite a few times where I've been shouting on Ozzy who's upstairs, and then I'll hear him right next to me and I'll turn around and he's actually still upstairs, but I was obviously talking to the Aussie in another dimension. And the same thing happened to my husband not so long ago. And I was not even in the house. He didn't realize I'd left. I think I'd just gone to the shop. And he was having a full-on conversation. He was like, "Were you not in the house?" I was like, "No, I haven't been in for like half an hour." And he was like, "I literally had a conversation with you." I was like, "Oh, well, you're speaking to me in another dimension." So we just laugh about it. But these things are real. Just because it's not like a commonplace conversation, it doesn't make it any less real. So yeah, you can change. You can do stuff to change the energies in the house, but sometimes there's certain things you might not be able to do, which is to like an earthbound soul stuck in this reality. The emotions that they're going to experience are going to be one of stress, and so you will feel that until they pass back, because they're in a no man's land, right? They don't know that they have died, and so somebody else is in their space is going to cause them a lot of distress, and that distress is what you're going to experience.
Wow, the conversation's getting
it's on another level, isn't it?
Here, as we're going to be winding down the show. So what I wanted to say as well is about Feng Shui, just to throw that in. I know it's interesting actually, because when I did Feng Shui years ago on my house, it said that this space, so actually the corner that I'm pointing to, was a good space for me in terms of abundance, financial abundance. And at that point, my workspace, my computer used to be upstairs in my bedroom. So it's interesting that because of the craziness that we're living in, I've been, I mean, I could go back upstairs, but now that my world's changed in terms of having Zenta and everything like that, I just prefer to be in the kitchen, which is more or less the heart of the home for many people. So that's interesting. So I think we should have a conversation about Feng Shui one of these times, because that's very interesting in terms of how you organize your home and what that does in terms of the energy around you. So I'm going to wrap up because of the time. We have covered so many different things in our lovely topics of conversation today. Wanting to just let our regular viewers know that we have set a new date for the second workshop. So we are going for the 29th of June, which is a Tuesday evening. The timing will be 7:30. So remember, that workshop is called Entrapment and Enslavement. And again, we're talking about the soul blueprint. That's a very interesting conversation there, because even though, yes, we'll be looking at, the world that we live in now and how we have got to this point, that soul journey is very much part of that conversation as well. So there is a link, or there will be a link underneath the video here. Please have a look at that page and get signed up to that page. So yeah, it's been wonderful speaking with you, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, creating this altar and seeing some flowers, and everything that you said there, Denise, about the house and energies is really interesting too. So do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, maybe get some sage. I only recently got some sage myself, and it was only because I had somebody negative in the house. So I just wanted to sage the hell out of the house, literally. But yeah, be aware of, I guess, the energies that aren't that don't belong to you. Maybe even how you and your partner or anyone in the house that you live with, how you engage with one another might not be who you really are. Think about that, especially if your house is particularly old. There's going to be factors that are not within your control that you can't deal with. So it's just good to bring awareness to it.
Thank you, Susie.
I'd just like to finish off that just be aware of your thinking and your thoughts, because even that carries energy. Instead of thinking about the emotions as such, go back to your natural state of love and peace, because that will help you shift whatever you're thinking, feeling, back into that peaceful mode, which we can all be doing with right now.
Fantastic. So thank you for joining me today on this Divine Cuppa. We didn't have the lovely Layla with us today because she'd made arrangements to go and make some new connections. So that's fantastic. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Layla next week. And yes, this is continuing. Hopefully we will have one of our speakers on with us soon. I have sent out the invitation to her, so we might see her on the call next week, depending on her schedule. But thank you so much. Carry on tuning in. And if you're not in the Telegram group, why not? Make sure you get in there. There will be a link underneath this video. All right, then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.